Conor McGregor was rebuked publicly by Dana White yesterday on the Pat McAfee show. Every one of those details I just gave you is important. Dana White has never rebuked Conor before. Even on times where he's had to go against him, he's laughed and playful, and he'll say that. He'll go, man, that dude is so fun. But make sure he's out there entertaining. He'll never say he gave you bad information. Never. He made that up. Never would he do that. And I'm just sharing with you, hasn't. Now, when I tell you something is going on, I don't know where it's at. I know where it's not, which is Chandler. You have three pieces, right? You've got the promotion, you've got Conor, you've got Chandler. You got three pieces. I know it is not Chandler. I can 100% confirm for you everything you've ever heard from Chandler, which is anywhere you want to do it, any way you want to do it, any time you want to do it, any weight you want to do it. He means you could call Chandler now and tell him it's tonight, and he will say okay, and then start to figure out how he's going to get there. I mean, truly, there's no exaggeration when I say that. Everything Chandler has is true. He has never stopped training. Twice a day, every day. He's one of these guys. He takes one day off. I think it's too much, quite frankly. But if you want to know who lives the lifestyle, who's got the attitude, who has the discipline, yes, it's him. Michael Chandler is as disciplined as anybody that we have in the sports. I'm just letting you know it's not him. Now, I'm not ready to clear the UFC. I'm not ready to clear that because I don't have the information. But if I cleared them, I would then be putting it on Conor, and I don't know that I can do that. If I blamed the UFC, I would be clearing Conor. Because of those three prongs, there's only one that's a wrinkle in this fight. We have eliminated Chandler, so now it's a matter of which one is it. When I tell you that Conor was rebuked, Conor came out with a great stunt. He did a great media stunt, which is he came out and he made a fight announcement about himself. And it was all perfectly believable. June 29th, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada. Tickets not yet on sale. International Fight Week, main event, 5 rounds, everything was perfect. Everything was perfect. He then had this wine. I wish he hadn't had the wine. He swirled the wine like a freaking weird. I wish he hadn't have done the wine. At any rate. Other than that, it was just great piece. And there was no red herring anywhere in it. If one of the pieces was greatly off, you could have dismissed the whole thing, but everything lined up. Everything made sense. And the media ran with it. And I went on ESPN, and I was asked to come on ESPN to speak to the fight, and speak what we should be able to look forward to, and we finally got a date, and I couldn't do it. I'm live. They can't control what I'm saying, but they weren't thrilled with me. Because I essentially went against what it is they were trying to do. I said, guys, I'm not comfortable telling the world that they are fighting. I don't take that as a fight announcement. We do not have a fight announcement. We have the word of Conor McGregor, which generally, if you have the word of one of the principals, boom, you've got it. It's done. Generally. But I said, in all of these words, I'm quoting myself still. I said all of this on ESPN. I said, but look, this guy that we're taking the word of, Conor McGregor, 4 days ago, in a different outlet, told the world he was going to box Manny Pacquiao, that was his next competition. I can't trust him. I don't know what he's doing. Don't know if he's hustling, angling, working, entertaining. I don't know what he's doing. A lot of times, Conor would do something like that. Then at the very end of the shot, he would hold up a bottle of Proper 12 whiskey and let you know that he's trying to sell it. But you would understand exactly what he's doing. That's where this piece was different. There was one weird that had this wine that just looked like swill. I keep going back to the wine because that is generally the spot within the video where the master marketer that is Conor McGregor would make his plug. But he didn't make a plug. He had the wine and he swirled it, but then he didn't reference the wine. Okay. I feel like I'm losing you on the wine. I can even hear myself, and I'm not making my point as clear as I want to be. But it turns out I was right. Conor McGregor was angling, hustling, or marketing. He was doing one of the three. And Dana White publicly made that known on the Pat McAfee show yesterday. Now, Dana's exact words were, Conor's not fighting in June. In a best case scenario, he will fight this year, but it will be fall. Now, fall is loosely defined as September, October, the first 2 weeks of November. That even is debatable by some people. Fall means nothing. If you're fighting in the fall, you have no fight, just so you understand how that works, okay? We're going to fight sometime this summer. We're going to fight sometime this winter. Nobody knows what that means. Nobody knows when the springtime is. Some people think it's scientific to ask a groundhog. So the only thing that we got out of that spot that Dana did with Pat McAfee is that Conor told us something that is not true. And it got rebuked. And now the question becomes why? And I am not beating a dead horse here. If you're not staying with me or you don't find this interesting, then we're on different wavelengths. This is a little bit more sophisticated, what I'm talking about. It's not just what I'm saying, it's what I'm not saying to you. Why would Dana rebuke that? Go ahead and answer the question. It's not a trick. Why? If you were in Dana's spot, why would you rebuke it? Well, Conor said it was the main event, and it's not. You have a different main event, right? Obviously. You have a bigger fight, or at least you have a different fight, and you don't want to mislead your audience when they're about to go and buy tickets. You want to make sure that you're very clear with them. You don't invoke the bottom of the page or the asterisk that says card subject to change. You want to be very honest with your audience. So you are going to have to tell him he's not coming. No, that's not at all what this was. There was no announcement of anybody whatsoever. There was no announcement at all. There was no announcement that there was a different date or he can come somewhere else. There was nothing other than what Conor told you is not accurate. Now, I want to know why. Because many times Dana's been put in that spot. You guys don't even know about it. You don't even know that it's happened. It is a very old carny trick. And there are not very many guys that are good enough and or big enough in our sport to have the trick work. They would come out and they would make a claim. Guys are doing it today, right now. Guys did it yesterday. You're not talking about it. You're not hearing about it. I'm not talking about it. I won't hear about it. They're not good enough and they're not big enough to make it work. But it has worked over time. It's worked on all of them, including Dana. So the way that would be is some guy would come out with a statement that wasn't true, and he would make it well enough, and it would get picked up by enough people who believe it is true. That would be a greater expense to unfry that egg, as opposed to just signing and making the match and making it as though the statement was true. There is no main event on June 29th. There is no fight that's bigger. Conor still controls the day, so it wouldn't matter what the fight was. It's not bigger. And if you're going to take that exact fight and you're going to do it, and why not just do it that date? Why do it 3 months later? The reason, wherever that sits, is the answer to our equation. There is something going on with Conor and Pacquiao. That's true. Conor would like to box Pacquiao. That's true. Pacquiao would like to box Conor. That's true. Nobody in the world wants to see it, but that is absolutely subsequent. There is a promoter and a financier for the fight. They have the three pieces. So, is that what the delay is? Did Conor operate like a snake and we don't know it? Did he go and try to get himself leverage through getting the Pacquiao fight, bring that leverage back to the UFC and point the double barrels at him? Is that what he did? And the UFC was nice enough to keep it quiet, but now has to make their moves as well. Is that what happened? Is it anything like that? Is the delay of Conor and Chandler, which feels like a cancellation? I mean, if the best we can do is that we're going to try to do it this year, if that's the best we can do, and those exact words were said on McAfee, it was said that it was moved to the fall. There is no such thing as fall, but just so you understand. There is no such thing as fall. None. And I bring this to you because Groundhog's Day was 4 days ago, if you guys didn't know. And my daughter acknowledged it. She's 6. She's sitting here right now. She acknowledged it. Whether it was going to be spring or continuation of winter had to do with if the groundhog saw his shadow. There's no such thing as fall. There's no such thing as spring. These aren't real. Is it September? And if it is, you have 4 Saturdays to choose from. Which one is it? Those are real. So, what is going on there? What's going on? Is Conor trying to box Pacquiao? Go ahead and box him. It doesn't make any difference. But quite frankly, Conor versus Chandler doesn't make any difference. So what is it that's actually going on? Why do we keep using this? Why do we keep dangling it? Conor got rebuked, but did he get rebuked and he's an innocent victim in all of this? That is currently unemployed and is trying to get a job? If he is, I would like to know. I think that would be fair, but that would also be unlike anything we've seen from the organization before, who defended him against their own partner, USADA. It doesn't seem like something the organization would do. There's a piece of information that's being withheld from us. And generally in these spots, the fighters don't withhold information. In fact, Conor McGregor one time before did a very underhanded move and screenshotted private text messages. So he's not really known as one to keep his hard cards to his vest, but the UFC generally would. But generally would, and screenshots from the past don't necessarily give you the answer that you need for today. It takes 3 parts to make that fight. I can clear Chandler right now. So now you got a skunk at the garden party, either the UFC or Conor McGregor. It's one of the two. And if the fight and or subsequent desire to do the fight with Manny Pacquiao is what is weighing this ship down, I think that somebody should tell us so that we can then tell Conor and Pacquiao and their financier. No one cares. Pacquiao and Conor could have fought just to tell you how much nobody cares, Conor and Pacquiao could have fought a week ago. It would have nothing to do with what I'm going to say today about Conor, because it would have nothing to do with anything. It would not affect anything. It wouldn't change MMA. It wouldn't change the Chandler fight. It wouldn't change what we were promised. It wouldn't change whether you're going to do it at 300, you're going to do it on International Fight Weekend, or you're going to do it on a mythical date of the fall. Like, nothing would change. There is no more of an inconsequential and insignificant pugilistic contest than Pacquiao versus McGregor. So if that's what this is, and this is the great gun that you're trying to hold on the UFC is right to tell you to shove it in your ass. You are holding, if you think you have leverage because you have Pacquiao in a boxing match in the Middle East, you have nothing.